All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you there's a simple awareness trick, one you can start using in literally the next 5 minutes, that could totally revolutionize how you see and change your daily habits? It's pretty amazing. Let's get into it.
Yeah, you heard that right. The secret isn't in some complicated app or the latest life hack. Nope, it's actually hidden in the daily ritual of Japanese train conductors. I know it sounds a little strange, but trust me, it holds the key to unlocking our own behavior.
So picture this. You're on a train in Tokyo, and you see the operators doing this very specific, almost theatrical ritual. At first glance, you'd think it looks kind of odd, but it turns out to be one of the most effective safety systems ever created.
Okay, so here's how it works. As a train rolls up to a signal, the operator doesn't just glance at it. They literally point their finger at it and say out loud, "Signal is green." They point to the speedometer and call out the exact speed. Every single critical detail gets identified, pointed at, and named aloud. And you might be thinking, come on, does this little pointing thing really work? Well, get this. The results are absolutely staggering. This simple system reduces errors by up to 85%. Just let that sink in. That is an unbelievable jump in accuracy just from being a little more aware. And it doesn't even stop there. It also cuts accidents by 30%. I mean, even the New York City subway adopted a modified version of this, just the pointing part, and saw incidents of incorrectly parked trains drop by a whopping 57%. So yeah, this system definitely works.
So, what's the magic here? Why is it so effective? Well, it's because it yanks a non-conscious habit right into your conscious mind. By using their eyes, their hands, their mouth, and their ears all at once, the operators are completely engaged. They are no longer on autopilot, which means they're way more likely to spot a problem before it's actually a problem.
And that right there brings us to our own lives. We all have that autopilot mode, right? And it's the #1 reason we so often fail to even see the very habits we're desperate to change. You know, our brains are just wired for efficiency. It's a feature, not a bug. Once you've done something 1,000 times, like grabbing a snack when you're bored or checking your phone the second it buzzes, you stop thinking about it. You just do it. We overlook these things because our brain assumes the next time will be just like the last. And this leads to a really big question, one we've probably all asked ourselves. Why does it feel like the negative side effects of our habits just appear out of nowhere one day? Well, the answer is a simple but really profound lack of awareness. This is the absolute heart of the problem. You know, so many of our failures aren't because we lack willpower. It's because we lack self-awareness. We simply can't change a habit if we don't even consciously realize we're doing it in the first place. So what we need is our own personal point-and-call system. And that's exactly what the Habits Scorecard is. It's this brilliantly simple exercise you can use to become way more aware of your own behavior. Now, the goal here is not to judge yourself or beat yourself up. Not at all. It is simply to notice. You just create a list of everything you do in a typical day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, just to see what's really going on under the hood.
And making your own scorecard is incredibly easy. It's a simple 3-step process that just shines a light on all those little actions you take every day.
So first, just write everything down. Wake up, turn off alarm, check phone, brush teeth, you get the idea. Then, go through that list and for each one, ask yourself, is this habit good for me, bad for me, or kind of neutral? Finally, you just mark it with a plus, a minus, or an equal sign. Simple as that. And here's what that might look like for a morning routine. Waking up, that's probably neutral. Checking your phone first thing in the morning? Probably a minus for most of us. Weighing yourself if that's part of a health goal, that could be a plus. It's just a quick visual snapshot of your day. Okay, now here is a really crucial mindset shift. The labels good and bad are a little misleading. We should really be thinking in terms of effective habits. See, all of your habits, even the bad ones, serve you in some way. That's why you do them. The real question is, are they effective at solving your problems in the long run? If you're ever struggling to figure out if a habit is a plus or a minus, this is the ultimate filter. Just ask yourself this one powerful question. Does this behavior help me become the type of person I wish to be? Does it cast a vote for or against the identity you want? That'll give you your answer. Okay, so once you have this newfound awareness from your scorecard, how do you actually turn that into action? Well, we come full circle. We're going to take that pointing and calling technique and bring it right into our own lives. Here's exactly how you do it. Instead of just mindlessly reaching for another cookie, you interrupt that autopilot by saying out loud, "I'm about to eat this cookie,"
but I don't need it. Eating it will cause me to gain weight and hurt my health. You see? You make the unconscious conscious.
You know, hearing your bad habits spoken aloud like that is incredibly powerful. It just makes the consequences feel more real and adds this weight to the action. It's a total pattern interrupt. And hey, this works for good habits too. Saying, I'm going to the post office right after lunch actually increases the odds that you'll follow through.
Ultimately, what this all comes down to is this. Before we can change anything, we first have to see it clearly. Strategies like the Habits Scorecard and pointing and calling, they aren't about judgment. They're about awareness. And they give you the power to finally see your habits and the cues that trigger them.
And that's really the heart of it. The first step is always to notice. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is one habit, just one, that you can bring into your conscious awareness by pointing and calling it today?